Hi, I'm Jackie. I'm the thorn in Lowell prison hip. um, that's, but I've chose some big battles, and believe me, they've been big battles. And I I don't know where to start. I mean, it's been such a nightmare since she's been in there, and it's only been 8, 9 months. Okay, Rose was sent there, and she's innocent. I know you probably hear that from everybody, but it was a big corrupt thing, and I think it's a story that Rose needs to say. But most of you know pretty much what happened. But since I came back from New Jersey, she had her sentencing, and she's actually there because the judge, who was like the prosecutor and the attorney general all wrapped up in one, said that she showed no remorse, and the state wanted to give her 6 months, and he said, no, I'm giving her a year and a day. So no matter how nice she was and how kind she was to people, it didn't matter. He just tried to knock her down for what she did for people and feeding people and stuff like that. And, you know, and everybody that she had, like fed and stuff like that, she tried to down them. Rose has 66 more days to go. And she has been through a lot in those 8 months or 9 months she's been there. And she has been very forthcoming to everything that's happened there, which has gotten her in a lot of trouble because they don't want nobody to know what's going on at Lowell. But I'm told everything. And I also have other people who tell me other things. And so I know pretty much a lot that's going in there. I mean, I'm like this little mole that's inside that prison. And I think the warden wonders how I find out so much. But anyway, I defend the women that are there, including Rose, most importantly. First, it was her medication. It was medical. And that's where it all started. They didn't give her her blood pressure medication, which is a KOP at that time she went there. She was only there a month. And so after a week went by, and she told me that she wasn't getting her blood pressure medication. And I asked her, I said, well, how long has it been? She says, well, it's been a week. So I got on it, okay? I talked to 3 nurses, and the 3 nurses all lied to me. I talked to them on the phone, and I emailed them. So I have emails of actually trying to get her medication. They all said Rose signed the slip, and she got her medication. Never happened. All right, we're going on our 2nd week. I write to the warden, Gartman. Actually, no, it was the assistant warden, Pippi, I think her name is. She says to me that she would take care of it. And you know what? In the beginning, I was like, yeah, she did. I think it was a day or 2 later, Rose finally got her blood pressure medication, which was 2 weeks. It took me for Rose to get her blood pressure medication. I had 3 strokes. I know how it is to not have your blood pressure medication. Okay, and she could have died. And then after that, I had a problem with her dehydration when the water went out. She was spitting up blood, 3 times this happened. Her blood pressure was still high. She was under a lot of stress, and she, you know, they took her to medical, and they couldn't even put a needle in her arm. Okay, they're not experienced nurses. What I call the reason why they're called incompetent, okay, and I've said it many times on Facebook, is because of these reasons that I'm telling you. They are incompetent because they don't know what they're doing. Okay, they are the lowest paid medical you can get. Okay, like Rick Scott did the last time. The lowest bidder got the job. Okay, and you know, you only get what you pay for. Okay, buy something at Walmart, it'll break in a week. Buy something at Macy's, you'll have it for a lifetime. That's what I say. Okay, and she got a spider bite on her rear end. Okay, and I reported it to the warden. I said, you have poisonous spiders and you have roaches there. And because I was in visitation and I seen roaches on the floor. And the guards, all they did was go over and step on it before anybody could see it, but I seen it. I'm very observant. And I told the warden, I said, if you're getting this place exterminated, like you say, how come she got bit by a poisonous spider that could have killed her? And she wasn't the only one. And how come I'm still seeing roaches there? She says, we get exterminated every month or something like that. It's an email. But I'm like, well, that's impossible because you wouldn't have bugs. You wouldn't have infestations. Okay? I mean, extermination gets rid of them. It doesn't make them grow. Okay? So anyway, then it was the food. And I got into it with her about the food. I said, you know, I think the only reason why you have such crappy food is because you make money on Canteen. I've seen how much money they make on Canteen, and it's a lot of money. We feed our family, okay? And the ones that don't have family to feed them, they have to eat that trash, okay? The last email I sent, I said, I would like you all, and I sent it to a lot of people, you know, with the DOC. I said, you guys need to either take a tray or sit at the cafeteria for 10 minutes and make sure you finish your food and eat that for 5 days. Okay, because they only get like 10 minutes to eat, like they're in the army or something. Okay, men don't have to, but the women do. So I don't want to make this too long. It seems like I am, but you know, it's been from one thing. The medical is the worst. Okay, she got a lupus test. Okay, it took her 3 times going to the nurse to go, and almost a month it took her to see a doctor for her lupus. Okay, which is $5 a visit. Okay, to the nurse to do nothing. Okay, so that's $15. Okay, and then when she sees the doctor, that's another $5. So that's $20. Okay, so he ordered her blood work. Okay, so after the blood work was done, we haven't heard anything about her lupus test. So I wrote to the warden. I said, Rose got her lupus test done. Can you find out about it? The doctor even said it never got done. Okay, and the next day they called Rose to get the lupus test done, and Rose refused. She says, I'm not going to medical for anything. She says, I've been here for dehydration. I've been here for my blood pressure. And I've been here, excuse me, I've been here for all kinds of things, a spider bite, and I was sick. And I don't trust any of these medical, okay? And I'm not going there. And so she didn't get the lupus test. So they said she refused. She signed a refusal and refused it. She refuses. They took her case. Okay. She wrote a report, and I reported the head nurse there, and we all know who she is. So I reported her, and then she came to the dorm and took Rose's KOPs away. People on person medication. Okay. And Rose took her medication, 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock at night. Okay. And then they said they were concerned she wasn't taking her medication. That's why her blood pressure was high. That wasn't the case. So then they had her go for like a week and get her blood pressure taken and stuff like that. And then they stopped. Okay. Because this was just it was a joke. Okay. Because the head nurse was reported. And she says, if you tell your sister to anything about me, and she reports me, or you report me, I'm going to send you to SAG for 30 days. Okay, now she's really rubbing me the wrong way. So I reported her to Gartman. And I said, you know what? If she threatens my sister one more time, which she's not my sister, but if she threatens my sister one more time, I will have her taken out of Lowell, because she's not supposed to threaten her with SAG just because someone reported her. Okay? That is wrong. So Rose can't get her KOPs back until she sees the doctor. So Rose said, well, I'm not going to pill line in the morning because they don't give the medication right. But this happened later. She started getting her medication in the pill line, and then she started getting sick. And I went and visited her, and she was cold. Her skin was cold. And I don't know how long I'm talking. I'm sorry. But I didn't write this down like all y'all did. But she wrote her she went to medication, and I felt her skin, and it was clammy, and she was getting cold sweats. So I reported it. And I told Rose, I talked to her doctor, and I told Rose, no, for you not to take your medication in the morning and take it at night. And see if you can see the doctor and have it raised at night. Because it mostly works at night anyway. That's when I take my blood pressure medication. So Tallahassee had came about the situation. And so Pippi, or whatever her name is, was there. And she was all like, she didn't know that they were coming, and she was all nervous and didn't know what to say. And she told Rose, she says, you jeopardize your health just to spite your face and all this stuff. And Rose said that I'm not going to medical. They're incompetent, and they don't know how to give medication, and they're not giving it the right way, and it's making me sick. And your medical is not going to kill me. So that was the end of that. And somehow they squeezed their way out of that one. And so Rose stopped going to get her medication in the morning. And then one day, not too long ago, I mean, there's a lot more, but I'm not going to go into it all because I'm pretty much giving you like the worst parts of everything. Then Rose went out for medication, and it was storming. Okay, I got two sides of the story of this. Actually, I got three sides, but I'm only going to tell you Rose's side and maybe a little bit of the other side. She went out, it was pouring. So the guard was saying, go, get in the pill line, get in the pill line. All of a sudden, sharam, sharam, lightning hit the fence. All the girls started going in. I heard that the COs were telling the women to go in. But you know what? That's not how it started. he was pushing them out. He knew it was storming, okay? And then Rose turned around and she slipped in those cheap shoes that they give them, okay? This is the second pair she had, and they had holes in the bottom already, okay? And she slipped and twisted her ankle. And she went in, and this girl was trying to push her medication on her. 4 times this girl was saying it to her. So Rose said, damn it, no, I don't want your medication. She said, if I'm going to take medication, it's going to be my own medication. And she got to the foyer to call me, to tell me what happened. And the guard stopped her and said, you're going to confinement. And Rose said, what did I do wrong? He said, you were disrespectful. Nothing about following orders or anything like that. Just disrespectful. The warden told me that she called a guard a name and she didn't follow his orders. But the real thing was that I found out from classifications was that she said, damn. Okay? That was her charge. And I laughed. I couldn't believe it. I was like, the girl's pushing drugs on her, and Rose says, damn, damn no. And, and Rose goes to confinement, and the other girl goes back to her dorm. And I'm like, what? There's no justification here. I mean, if anything, Rose should have got a medal for refusing drugs off an inmate. So then I came to the conclusion, after Rose told me that she only had 1 roll of toilet paper and 1 piece of soap, she didn't get none of her property, none of her personal hygiene, nothing, the whole time she was in there. Gartman said that she would have her personal property. She would be writing to me. She would get a flexi pen, okay, and she would have her personal property with her. No, never happened. A whole week I've been writing to her. She never got 1 letter. Okay, still hasn't gotten any of my letters. Okay, I wrote at least 8 or 9 letters. Never got 1 of them. Okay, and now they're having problems with mail now. Now all the inmates are having problems with their mail. But I was being lied to by the warden. Okay, that she was going to write to me. And she had no way of writing to me. And I was worried. I heard stories about confinement, bad stories. And I didn't hear nothing from Rose until she got out that Tuesday night. Okay? She finally, the last night she was there, got a pen from the guard. And she got some paper. And she was able to write to me. But I didn't get those letters until she was already out of confinement. So then, the head nurse went there and visited her at confinement, and the assistant warden went to visit her at confinement and smiled and did all that harassing stuff that they do there. Okay? That place is a hell. I'm sorry. Faith base is fake base. There is no faith base. Okay? They didn't have any classes. I asked for proof. I got none. The only thing that Rose got there was computer class on Sunday for 2 hours. That's it. All those certificates I got, fake. Fake, fake, fake. I have one that's 2016. Rose wasn't even there 2016. Okay? Big lie. Okay? They never got classes. And also, gay human rights was violated there. That chaplain that's there, Chaplain Smith, said that he didn't want any gay people in his program. So before he could have classes, he needed them out of there. So last person that was out of there was Rose. They took her out of there when she got out of confinement. All the rest of them were taken out of there before Rose got put in the confinement. So that whole week, a lot of things happened. So they can't get no religion because they're gay. Okay? Violation right there. Okay? Sometimes I wonder who is really breaking the law here. I mean, you got people that supposedly broke the law who aren't getting rebuilt, who aren't getting reform, who aren't being, you know, my daughter was in prison for 3 years, okay? She said, Mom, she says, I can't understand this. She says, we had drug programs all day long because she was in there for a drug thing. She was in the streets for 8 years doing drugs and prostitution. And I got her off the streets because I knew, I researched things. I couldn't afford to send her to rehab that she needed. And drugs, you need years, okay? It's not like an alcoholic, okay? And I found out about the prisons and what kind of programs they had and how effective they were. And I had a friend of mine who was a police officer check on her and check her for drugs. And I had her arrested. Yes, I did. I was scared that I was going to go to a funeral that wasn't her friend. Every funeral I went to was her friend. And every time I went to a funeral, it scared me more that it was going to be her. So I had to do something drastic. I lived in Florida, so I would come all the way from Florida to look for her in the street. So I had her arrested, and she violated her drug probation. You get 3 years. She decided she wanted to max it. She knew she had a problem. And she did. And she's been off drugs for 10 years. Thank the Lord. Okay? And she lives in California, and she's doing great. Knock on wood. You need reform. Okay? When you need programs. Okay? People, women especially, have been abused. Okay? And either by being a child, by a boyfriend, by a husband, by a wife. You know, they've been abused, most of them. And most of them do their crimes because they're on drugs, because they got to beat the habit. Okay? You need programs that's going to combat that. Okay? If you don't have those programs and you just have them sit around in a cell all day and then you let them loose, they're only going to come back. And it's proven. I checked everything. Their rates on what the rates are at the prison. It hasn't went down. It's went up. You have more offenders coming back than you have, staying out. So that just shows you your program's not working. This is not the 18th century anymore. It's time. These are the times when you're humane. You give them programs. You feed them good information to make good choices. Okay? And if you're not going to feed them that in there, how are you supposed to fix them so when they don't come back? Because this justice system needs them to come back to make this. Okay? They make this from the time they're arrested. The public defender makes sure that they get arrested, they go to prison. The judge makes sure they go to prison. Brady Judd makes sure they go to prison. Okay? This is Rick Scott hopes they go to prison. Julie Jones ain't there to help them. That's Rick Scott's friend. He hired her for a reason. Okay, to save him money. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm being honest, and I'm being blatant honest. That place is nothing but a hellhole. I told the warden her slogan needs to go, and it should be the House of Hell. Okay, because that's what it is. There's abuse being done by the COs. There's mental, verbal, and excessive force being done on inmates. They're being put in confinement for no reason at all. Okay? The COs lie, and then the warden says, no, the inmates lie. Okay? I'm sorry, but you know what? You can't have all these people lying at the same time about the same thing. Okay? Something's wrong here. But that's what I got to say. And I hope that whatever me and Rose has done, and I hope that this page and everybody on it, the family members, keep doing a job and keep calling up, keep emailing, vote Democrat, because we need to get that Republican out of there, because he is not for the people. Okay? He's for himself. Okay? And California has a Republican running that, and they got the highest rate prison. Florida's the third. And then there's Texas, good old Texas. Yeah, that's a Republican governor. Okay, and they all are about this. Okay. I'm not saying that because I want you to turn Democrat. There is no justice with a Republican. I'm telling you right now, there isn't. They're for the rich, and the rich get away with everything. They get away with murder. Okay? So, back to the situation. I hope everyone who has family in Lowell, they all get something better done there. And God bless the families. And I hope that, you know, I can help in any way possible. And I mean, I know a lot of people that I wrote to and fought thick and thin with. And I hope that what we've done can help. But I don't want any family members to give up. And I don't want the Miami Herald to give up either, because they have done a lot for Lowell. Making sure they know what's going on there is very important, because they cover up so much